Burning Core's composition was also a little bit split in terms of what it wants to do. And I think part of it does come down to the fact that Ray Farkey likes his carries, doesn't necessarily want a team fight. He wants to dominate the lane. And so despite the Diana pick, there really isn't a lot of follow-up. At best, you get a counter-strike follow-up, or maybe Dice steals away a big ultimate. But for Burning Core, it feels like they kind of do want to try and win their lanes and then just go from the power of their lanes, or maybe look for that split push if Ray Farkey gets far ahead enough.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all right, a lot of damage already coming out. Ray Farkey, man. I mean, we were talking before, right, when we were kind of prepping, that Ray Farkey loves to take these fights. He's an aggressive top laner, and I mean, of course, that's why he's also picking the Jax as well, because that's going to enable him to take so many of these fights. And we already saw he did so much damage already onto I got it. Oh yeah, is it Washidai? I'm terrible with some of these names. I believe it is Washidai, right? Am I saying that right?
I think it's Washidai.
Yeah, Washidai, exactly. And so, okay, looking at the jungler start though, right? Okay, so we got Flawless Guy. There we go. He already knew that war was there, going to get rid of that, so he can't be tracked as well. Always nice to see that conscious junglers. And so we do have a double red side start, so most likely we'll have Yumika kind of pathing up towards that top lane, which is understandable because you do want to get Ray Farkey kind of out of the fight, get him behind, said he's not really too much of a threat, because, I mean, I think we all know, Fed Jax, that's a FF15 right there. I'm going to just keep it real.
Yeah, so definitely don't want let that happen. And Zeri as well, not known to have the best of laning phases either, so you're not really looking to necessarily make the action happen down bot, especially against the likes of a Tom Kench, which is such a defensive pickup here. So V3's pathing, to me, makes a lot of sense to come through. And for the side of Burning Core, Diana, you know, not so good at the early ganks either. So there's a pretty good chance actually that we don't see any early ganks come out, or early ganks just establish pressure and dominance. And then we just see both these junglers power farm to level 6. And then at level 6, we really get to see the action start to kick off.
So it was, and I mean, that's also going to show just kind of the mastery of these different laners. Really, it's like no real help coming, and so it's really coming down to kind of how well can you pilot your champ, and also just kind of squaring off, like we were saying before, right? You've got these academy players going up against these somewhat higher tier players, and it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top. How big is kind of that skill gap, so to say, right? It's like you're coming fresh from academy, but you kind of lack that experience in the more higher tier scene, and so we're going to get to kind of see how they scale up to the challenge.
Yeah, and so far at least it looks like they're answering pretty decently here. If anything, we're seeing a bit of a CS lead in the top side develop for Washidai here, whereas Ray Farkey's starting to fall behind a little bit, and that's not unexpected. I mean, it is ranged into melee, and that will change, of course, as skilling comes in, as item comes in. Jax does become a bigger and bigger threat, especially with that counter strike to deny away a chunk of Graves damage here. But it's a ways away, and like we said, without jungle pressure to relieve anything, Washidai, I like what we're seeing here, getting aggressive wards in, and I'd like it even better if Washidai actually starts shoving, going in and invading as a top laner.
Oh yeah, definitely. And also that way to kind of get Flawless behind, because I mean that would be exactly perfectly what you want to do, right? We've said they're going to be trying to kind of power farm over to level 6, so you want to kind of slow that process down as much as possible. And especially if Unica can kind of get ahead, get that level 6 first, and then start doing some crazy damage. We're gonna have to hold that thought though, because Ray Farkey looking to take a bit of a fight here. Maybe we see some first blood. He's gonna go and back off. Doesn't want to do anything too risky. It did have to go helicopter mode there, dodged a lot of damage that came up from Washidai, but you never want to play anything too risky. But instead, they're looking to do a ball, and the exhausted come out. Oh, very nice shove. First blood, and it goes right into the hands of the Zeri as well. Dress code looking to start things off with a bang. A beautiful gank that came out from Unica. Very nicely done.
And that's the beautiful thing as well for these junglers. Remember how I said that, yeah, the junglers, they want to power farm, but Hecarim's already power farmed. There's nothing left to take his jungle. Is only starting now to respawn. They didn't have a scuttle to take bot side, so they just brute forced the gank, and really well timed from V3 there. Burning Core not respecting the timings, didn't even actually have to ward. They thought they were safe from the scuttle. You're really not. You need to ward the other entrance as well. They pay the price. Now, it's not necessarily going to set Yuhi too far behind on the Jinx. Yes, dress code gets a kill. That's nice. But again, Zeri's laning phase, not that strong. So you can still play into this right up to the moment we start seeing about the Trinity Force coming through for dress code.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, okay, V3s. Coming in some lane. I gotta say, it's surprisingly nothing really going down kind of in this mid lane. We do see Eugenio and Unica looking to kind of head up, clear a little bit of vision here, looking to make something happen. And there we go. Finally, one of his camps is up. However, They do realize that Unico is in that top area, so they're going to go ahead and take this first dragon here. Burning Core wasting no time. Doesn't look like Hatel really can do anything. Yeah, he's just going to have to go ahead, watch it be taken. Nothing much he can do.
Yeah, and I really like this from Burning Core because in the last couple of games, we haven't necessarily seen this much objective focus. It was really a lot of like, oh, we've got nothing better to do, or oh, we just want a big fight, let's go to Dragon now, right? Teams were fighting primarily over Herald for the most part. And even in the first game today, DFM taking Dragon early was also a response to losing control of the top side. Whereas this game, Burning Core, they just kind of go like, okay, great, Dragon just spawned, we know where Unica is, we're going to take this as an early objective. I love to see it, and because they got set behind early, if they continue with this sort of focus, that is a good way for them to try and get back into the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of stabling out those goal leads. And also, once again, you don't snowball your losses, right? You know, you lose one thing, so you just pick up something else. They lose that first blood, pick up the dragon in return. Always good to see Unica grabbing that skull. Gonna grab them something, a little bit of extra vision. And now maybe Dice might look to... Nah, I was hoping Dice might look to make a play with Flawless into that top lane, but it's looking like it's not gonna happen. But Flawless will be there on his own. Not quite level 6 yet in comparison to Unica, who has hit level 6. That's going to make him a whole lot more dangerous. And speaking of that, might just look to move in here to this bot lane. They've got the wave pushed in. Not a lot of minutes, though, but they are looking to go in a very nice knockup. TP does come out, though, so they might be able to make something happen. Ignite on Yuhi. That's another kill for Dress Code. Very nicely done. Dice is here. So much damage coming out from the turret, and boom! They're going to take him out. Dice will pick up that kill. Was able to grab the Hecarim ultimate as well. Going to save that for a later, a rainy day, one might say, when he needs it. But overall, very nice TP reaction, realizing something's going down. TP's down, and they are able to go 1-for-1.
Yeah, and that's partially a summoner discrepancy between the two teams here because Yugo had to walk down with the Ignite. Now, this dive was actually really clean. Level 6 from Unica, you go right in. The burst damage is absolutely nuts. The problem, unfortunately, was, again, not calculating for that teleport, and they answer 1-for-1. But if you're at the side of B3, you're fine with that. That's Dress Code getting 2 kills now, and Yuhi set further and further behind. 2 deaths now for this Jinx. You're delaying that win con to come through, and for Yu-Gi-Oh versus Dice right now, you're okay with that as well. Zoe doesn't really want to interact with the Silas, and as long as Silas isn't so far ahead that he can just dive you into turret, you're safe.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Speaking of that, though, Unica not looking too safe. The exhaust does come out. Moon crash, and he's going to go down. Yuhi going to grab that kill, and they're going to instantly channel that into a free Rift Herald. A very nice ultimate that came out by Flawless. He's finally able to hit that level 6 and use it accordingly, and they get the kill.
I love that both these junglers at level 6, they instantly go for it. We're not waiting till level 7, level 8. And on top of that, Burning Core, I praise their objective control on that dragon side. I love what they did with the Herald as well. They rotated up there right away. And look who they sent. They sent up Yuhi. They sent up Fujimoto as well. Their bot lane rotating up. They wanted to make sure they got the Herald. It wasn't a pick onto Unica they were looking for. That was just the bonus.
Yeah, absolutely. And in that top lane, you know, Ray Farky, Washidai still just kind of chilling. Dare I say, just trading out a little bit. Not too much going down. Still 0-0. Maybe trying to change that, but unfortunately not quite anything going to come out of it. Washidai did need to burn Flash, though, so that's going to be down for the next 5 minutes. So maybe Ray Farky can actually utilize that. And already Eugenio doing a lot of damage with those paddle shots. You do like to see it. Going to push that wave. And overall, just going to be a little bit of downtime right now.
Yeah, Echo, honestly, the game's progressed a little bit slower than I expected, especially in the top lane. We've hardly looked top at all after the initial little bit and that last recent while here. Ray Farky has not been, quite as aggressive as I expected. I think part of that is, of course, the Graves pick, the fact that Graves is such a safe champion. You just wave clear for days, and as long as you've got mana, you've got sustain, you're good to go. Speaking of sustain, though, it's not the lifesteal we're seeing. That, my friend, a hull breaker coming in right away for V3. They are hard committing to the Washidai split push experience.
Straight up, dude. They were like, we're going to do what Kanatsu did and just do it a little bit better. And they are going to try and get a gank. And a Mooncratch is going to go down, followed by the helicopter mode coming out as well. A lot of damage. Can Washito get out? He's so low. Oh, he is going to go down, though. Flawless will pick up that kill. Tanked so much, but it was just a bit too little. And he will go down, and now just like that, Ray Farky's terror in the top lane might just begin, gonna shove the wave, but Unica will be there to answer and hold off any potential push.
Yeah, and Utica needs to go and answer this right here because the Herald got taken by Burning Core earlier. If you kind of ignore it, that's a Jax. And as any person who's played against a Jax will know, the sound of thump, thump, thump is the scariest thing, followed with a Herald as well. You could actually end up losing your turret incredibly quickly if you leave it unattended. So Unica not able to try and answer somewhere else on the map and starting to fall behind a little bit in terms of tempo compared to Flawless here. And that's not going to change anytime soon. I expect to see Flawless continue to make moves anytime that Moon falls up. And it's up to Unica to try and recapture that speed. He's got the Onslaught of Shadows available. The Ghost is up as well.
Yeah, so in V3, not going to be given off this drag. Now they're like, okay, we let you get that first one. It was just a Cloud Drake. Unimportant. You can have it. We're going to be getting these important ones. And just like, yeah, they're going to go ahead and grab that. Flawless. Don't do it to him, man. The ward did go down. So Washi Day is not going to fall for the trap. But they're looking to collapse on him. There's just nowhere for Washi Day to go. They're looking to jump on him. Going to get that stun with the counter strike. A lot of damage coming out the dash. But Washi Day, there's just nowhere for him to go. He's just running circles around the tower. The Moon Crash. But it might be enough to get the kill. No way, dude. He ran circles around him, and he will at least go 1 for 1. And not only that, it's the Diana. So the Rift Herald cannot be called down to assist our boy Ray Farkey. Oh my god, that was still very nice to play Washi Day. Even if he wasn't gonna get out of that one alive, he's like, you know what, I'm taking you with me.
Yeah, I thought Washi Day made a mistake by sticking around after you knew Flawless was there, but never mind, it's worth. It's a 1 for 1, and like you said, because Flawless went down before dropping the Herald, there wasn't too much of a threat of that turret going down, and he bought time for the rest of V3 to pick up their first Drake of the game, the Inferno Drake as well. So definitely a win on V3's part here. They're going to be happy with that. And honestly, I can see Washi Day becoming a menace as things go on with this Hullbreaker right now. Burning Core is calling up resources constantly to that top lane, and really, it's not netting them a significant lead.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's like a war of attrition, right? Washi Day's like, yeah, go ahead, send everything you want. But hold up, they're looking to maybe send a bit more to this mid lane here. A lot of damage coming out. Very nice knock up. Onslaught of Shadows from Dice. He was able to snatch it, so he's going to get out of that one alive. But he's going to have to leave Flawless to die. And he's going to go down, and the kill will go into the hand of Eugenio. Okay, back to the point I was trying to make, though, in that top lane, right? Washi Day really is just like, go ahead, send whatever you got up at me top. I've got the extra armor from the Hullbreaker. I'm just going to be chilling. I'm going to waste as much time and resources as I can. We saw, right? He's like, he knows the 2v1 is coming. He doesn't care. He stares death in the eye, and he's like, come on at me. I'm taking at least one of you with me. You can't place that Rift Herald, so you're not going to get any extra gold. And, okay, I'm going to give this to you. Let's get into that replay. What did we just see?
Well, what we saw was just a really well-played gank coming through, as well as good rotation from V3. They knew they had the numbers advantage. They knew everybody was coming in, and they just pulled the trigger right away there. Dice is actually lucky to get away. The Ignite ticking down. If they had decided to split focus a little bit more, leave Flawless to, you know, the superior numbers advantage, they could have found another kill. And that comes partially off that top side pressure you're talking about, Echo. The fact that, you know, they went top, couldn't drop Herald. They had to try and just drop it mid instead. It was a rush thing. Herald was about to expire, and that ended up causing them to overstay and overextend just that little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, man, as a jungle man, that's the worst feeling when that Rift Tail's about to expire. You gotta drop it like in base, or you gotta drop it like in jungle. You're just gonna have your whole team pinging you, looking at like, what are you doing, bro? And so you just gotta drop that thing and just pray it does as much damage as it can. Did smash into the turret, but other than that, they're not gonna get much out of it. I do want to say though, contrary to what we saw in that last game, right? So the Jinx actually going for and now the name slips my mind. I knew it up until I was literally about to say it.
Gale Force?
The Gale Force, thank you. Yeah, grabbing the Gale Force rather than the Kraken. Say, what are your thoughts on that? How are you feeling about that?
I think mobility is going to be tantamount in this game, especially when you're playing to the likes of a Zoe and a Hecarim there. Being able to position is massive. Dodging those sleepy trouble bubbles, and for the Hecarim as well, being able to position yourself such that the knockback pushes you away rather than into is going to be key. In lane, though, it's going to be nice if you can execute the Zeri as well, because burst damage is the best way to deal with Zeri here. The longer Zeri fights, the faster she becomes, the bigger of a threat she becomes. And for the Jinx, yes, you ramp up as well with your Q stacking passive in your minigun form, but it's still a bit of a risk into the Zeri. So I like the burst damage, and to me, whenever an AD carry builds Gale Force, it's also kind of like, yeah, I'm mechanically good enough here, and you got to live up to that sort of expectation that you build up for yourself there.
Yeah, very true. Oh my God, Flawless really just biding his time. He's waiting, looking to go in. They're gonna wait for that last second of the recall. He thought he was say what? He still got out? No, no way. Eugenio's like, yeah, you really didn't even touch me, bro. And he's able to get that recall through. But that was very nice. Regardless, it was nice to see though. Really wait until that last second, giving Eugenio that false sense of security. However, he was able to get out of that one. That was way too close for comfort, though. I'm not even gonna lie.
Unica, you were spotted. I don't know why you're just hiding in that bush at that point. You walked out. They know you're there. That's it. Yeah, he's just tired from running everywhere right now. Yep. That's it, because he stood there. The Squire's Bloom actually didn't spot him, and I think he was like, okay, now I know Squire's Bloom is pop. I'm going to try and find something. Unfortunately, wasn't able to punish or catch out Flawless here and now. Herald is up. Scuttle has been taken by Burning Core, and Echo, we might actually get to see our first real team fight of the game instead of the small skirmishes we've seen up to now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a long time coming, 16 minutes in the making. We do have V3 on this dragon, but no one's there to contest. What's going on, guys? Come on, we can't be giving out these dragons for free. And V3,
I mean,
yeah, well, go ahead, man. I'm just gonna say the bad things. Go ahead, man.
No, it's not. They didn't give it up for free. They take Herald at least. I'm just really disappointed because I was ready for blood.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a color caster, yeah, and usually, I'm all about the analysis. You're all about the hype, but come on, man. 16 minutes into the game, let's see a team fight. I just want to stat check at this point to see how they're gonna play this out.
Yeah, bro, give me something to work with, man. I'm trying to yell. I'm trying to get some noise complaints, bro. It's 7 a.m. All right, my neighbors are still trying to sleep on a Friday morning. I'm like, no, sir, it's not happening. No sleep for you. And just like that, oh my God, there will also be, well, actually, the turret will go into the eternal slumber as it has been taken down now by Dress Code and Heddle. They are going to grab that. Yuhi did send out the Super Mega Death Rocket to try and stop the push, but it wasn't enough. Going to clear that minion wave. Just not much you can do, unfortunately.
Yeah, and the moment Dress Code kind of picked up that Trinity Force, we started seeing that bot lane swing more in favor of V3 a little bit, especially when Yuhi and Dress Code were left alone in the 1v1. Another back that wasn't quite canceled there. But yeah, so, the Trinity Force, that was kind of why I wanted to see them fight as well, because I wanted to see the stat check as to which AD carry was really able to carry this. Since they opted not to fight, though, I don't think we're going to get to see the fight till the Runan's Hurricanes are completed, or it might be a rapid fire cannon for Yuhi. But until we see second items, I think both teams are going to sit back a little bit, wait for that to come through. And like we said, this is patch 12.2. Runan's Hurricane is incredibly strong for Zeri on this patch. It stacks up incredibly quickly, and the multiple hits count towards that the overcharge stacking.
Yeah, exactly. And like that's exactly what you want with it as well. You're gonna be zipping around the map to chill. Man, have you seen some of those videos? Like they just abuse it, like in practice tool. They get like 7K movement speed. They click on like the other nexus and they're just there in like 0.2 seconds. It is honestly so interesting to see. But okay, that was gonna be interesting to see though how Ray Farke is gonna handle this one. Here we go once again, the 2v1, but with no turret. Can Washidai take someone to the grave with him this time around? I think not. Moon Crash does go down, but his boy's there to help him.
No way.
Washidai does not get to walk away. There is literally no universe where he should get away, and he will indeed. Unica and Eugenio are both there. They back their boy up. They're like, we got you, man. Just lead him in, bait him in. Trying to get Flawless here. Can he make a flawless escape? It looks like just maybe. He will indeed.
Hugo missed half the skill shots on that particular play, but it didn't even matter. Just by showing up, it was enough to bail Washide out of the bad situation they were in. And I'm starting to think that they're using Washide as bait here. The Hullbreaker is buying enough time, and even if Washide goes down, V3 were okay with that. They'd still find members of Burning Core on the back end of it. And right off the bat, I do want to praise Ray Farke here for not going for the dive right away and actually focusing down the turret, because it makes everything so much easier after that. If they didn't take the turret, it goes a lot worse. But this is just criminal. No shot this happens. Washington barely gets out alive, and you can see Ray Farke's frustration. He's just like, no, I'm hard committing for this. Somebody's gonna die. If it has to be me, so be it.
I think the best thing as well is that you just saw in that replay for like a split second, you see Washidai like looking to move back up into the top lane. Someone's got to hold my man back. Like, stop, dude. You just barely survived that. Just go back to base. Heal up, please, dude. You can't keep cheating death like this. Washidai's like, no, dude. Hold me back, bro. Hold me back. I'm looking to send defend it, and he is going to get out of that one. That onslaught of shadows that came out from Unica, just barely able to save his life. So nice to see. Great team play. And it's like you said, man, that hull breaker combined with the plated steel caps as well, just giving him so much survivability in this lane against Ray Farkey. He's like, dude, I know you like to be aggressive, but how are you going to be aggressive if you do no damage to me?
True. Yeah. If I shove harder than you, what are you going to do about it? You can't fight me in the turret, right? Well, you can, as we saw, but it's definitely a lot more difficult to do so. Now, we did see 2 turrets go down in rapid succession in favor of Burning Court mid and bot here. And with that, they've got themselves a bit of a lead, but V3, more critically, has the Runan's Hurricane completed for dress code now.
Yeah, well, now we do see Washington doing a lot of damage actually. Now he's starting to come on. Like there's that rip turtle in the face that I was talking about, dude. That is like the worst thing when you're a jungler, bro. Now she was gonna walk the entire way to lane just to get like capped in the middle of top lane or something like that. But they will drop it to try and get a little bit of pressure for this dragon that is coming up in 25 seconds. We might just finally get that fight we've been hoping to see. Just maybe. Just maybe.
Yeah, they're setting up for it right here. Both top laners, I mean, they're still dueling, but Ray Farkey has TP. Washida does not. So that could be critical here if Burning Core can actually get Ray Farkey to TP to this fight. Now, Vision favoring V3, but it's getting cleared out right now. Shelly.
It's gonna go down, but yeah, like you were saying, right? Ray Farkey does have TP, so he doesn't have to head down just yet in comparison to Washide, who does need to move down now so that he will be there in time for when the fight begins. A little bit of poke damage coming up from Yuki. I'm curious to see Dice, which ultimate, right, is he gonna try and hijack? And also Flawless, can he get like a 4 to 5 man moon crash to come down, do a lot of damage? And speaking of a lot of damage, that's a lot of damage on Flawless already, and just like that kind of puts him on the back foot, right? He can't really just rush in now because he's already at half health, can't afford to be bursted down, and now they're just slowly but surely losing control of this river. There's just not much they can do. Too much damage that comes out from just going, no way! No way! He goes in with the steal and they're looking to take out Washington. He's like, you are not escaping this time. No, sir. Not a third time. And now they're going to look to hunt down the rest of V3. Trying to get Heddle here. Hook not going to connect, but the Everfrost is there to seal the deal. They get that as well. And now Dress Code and Eugenio will live to tell the story. Flawless living up to his name. A very nice steal.
Jesco trying to 1v5 and actually putting down quite a bit of damage here, but they do have to be careful. Onslaught of Shadows is still on Dice. They can look to turn this in. Echo, honestly, in that last fight, it favored V3. They had the inside track, they had the poke, but Flawless getting in there, I think, stunned them a little bit. And not only did he get the dragon, he then forced the engage right after that. And because the engage is successful, we're seeing the Baron take as well, and everything just exploded from there. Once again, we get to watch this. Just watch Flawless, right? The way that Flawless gets in there, by now the Moonlight Crescent's kind of gone already. Gets a second one, gets the dragon, and that's the moment you can see V3. It was kind of just like, wait, what? And Unica, Washide, they're just left alone in the pit. There was no backup to bail them out.
Yeah, the rest of the team already started backing up because they're like, there's no way they get this dragon. We got this, right, guys? Right? And then they just see red team has slain the dragon and like, what just went down? And man, like, God, that was a very nice, that crescent strike with the dash as well going in, followed up by the super mega death rocket. Did so much damage, able to get that double kill, and then they just hunt down Heddle like it's nothing. Very nicely played, to say the least. Oh, okay, the TP did come out, actually?
Yeah, it's just the Zoe, the Zoe.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? I was looking at the summoners. I'm like, who else has TP? What am I looking at here? Yeah, so gonna go ahead and TP that bot lane, take out that wave, stop him from pushing. We do see Ray Farkey has given up in that top lane. He's like, I'm done here. I'm not doing this anymore. Gonna go split push that bot wave instead. Also has that hole breaker looking to match Washy Days. Like, two can play at that game, man.
I feel like, Echo, we're all going to see like maybe 2 team fights this entire game, and the rest of it's just going to be split pushing.
For real, honestly, that's so true. Because Ray Farkey, once again, him and Washington, it's just a tale to his time at this point, right? The two Homebreaker gods facing off. Who is the stronger one? I mean, look at their scores as well. Normally, like when you see a Jax, he's either going to be like 6-0 or 0-6, something like that. This time around, both top laners 1-3 and 0-1. It's like not really anything has been going down. They've really just been kind of stalling, buying time for the rest of their team to get stuff done on the map.
Well, I mean, there is a 1-6 and 0-6 here, but it's a 2 1-6 and 2 0-6 farm scores for both of these guys. They've just been kind of power farming off on the side, and For Burning Core, though, the rest of the team has Baron buff. So while the top laners, or shall we call them bot laners now since they're down there, might be evenly matched, the rest of the team isn't. And Burning Core need to maximize their use. They've already taken the top inner. They're looking to crack the mid lane inner.
Yeah. Oh, but they are going. What? They're just gonna crack Heddle like it's nothing. Cracking some skulls here. Very nicely done. He just gets bursted away. I was just about to say, like, this might just be a very good engage if they can get Unica to jump in with the Onslaught of Shadows as well, and then they kind of follow up a dress code. But Burning Core is like, no, we're shutting that down.
Yeah, and that's one of the things with Rakon. You're really squishy here now. Watch it.
Oh my god, Dice did pick up the Rakon ult as well, and they just take out Washide. They're like, you're done. If you're not in top lane, you can't do anything. Dice did go gold, but will go down. That kill will go into the hands of Udino, and also they'll be pushing that mid tier 3. Unica kind of trying to do something, but it's just nothing really that he can get done there. It's just going to scare them off. That's the best you can hope for there.
A lot of hit scratching plays right here. I'm still thinking back to Heddle's engage. Are we going to replay that? Okay, thankfully we're not replaying that. No, that one's kind of mean. Yeah. But even this dive here, it felt a little excessive. It wasn't really necessary. There were no minions. You literally could have just waited 10 seconds and the minion wave would have been here. But because you didn't, you're tanking all this damage. And the moment you saw Unica, Burning Core knew that they weren't getting out unscathed. Somebody was going to have to pay the price there.
Yeah,
so
they were like,
unfortunately, it was Dice.
Listen, Dice, we'll see you in the base in a minute. Yeah. Sorry, bro. We got to get out. Good luck, man. You put yourself in this spot. Can you just take the fall? Dice like, yeah, I guess. He just kind of...
Hey, man, you rolled a 1. It's it's up to you. Right? Like,
exactly.
You're the guy with Dice in your name.
Exactly. He did indeed roll a 1, and he's just going to stay 1 and 4 to say that. Oh, my God. Yeah. That he does go down, and so just like that, it is still, once again, it's one of those games, right? It's really only like a 6k gold deficit, a bit more than last game, right? And it's just 6 to 9, so it's not even that crazy. But once again, Burning Core, just like we saw with Axis, just so much dominance on the map, right? Just these ultimates that have been coming out for them are so huge and just allow them to make so many plays.
Yeah, and it's kind of odd too, because I don't feel like we've really seen the compositions do what they want to do. Yes, top laners want to split push. Okay, fine. They're doing their job. But everyone else, not so much. Yu-Gi-Oh's Zoe, for example, we've not seen the CP Trouble Bubbles find a ton of picks here. I'll put that on hold as Ray Farkey might get pincered this time.
They might find a pick though on Ray Farkey, like you were saying, looking to go in here. No onslaught shot gonna get popped just yet. Did go helicopter mode, dodging a lot of damage, so much armor. He's taking a lot, but the whole squad pulls up. I got my boys here, he says. Pulls up with the whole gang, but Ray Farkey
that was close.
That was very close. And Ray Farkey did buy his team enough time to grab that dragon as well. So once again, it's another one of those kind of moments where the top laner really just buying time for his team. And now someone needs to buy Eugenio some time. They're looking to hit him back with the same treatment that they gave to Ray Farkey. They take him out. A nice little 3-on-1. Heddle needs to be careful here. Okay, I was a little worried he was going to walk into that bush and just kind of walk up to match them. At this point, nothing surprises me anymore in these matches. It's just been absolutely crazy, but nothing will come out of that. And now Burning Core is looking to push into the base.
Okay, keep in mind, Washide, with this Hullbreaker, is not as effective in the team fights as Yugo would have been here. So they can't properly defend the inhibitor, and Burning Core get to take that for free. Echo, I was just complaining. We didn't get to see the compositions really do what I feel like they wanted to do, at least on the side of B3 here, right? We've not seen the pressure from the Zoe, the fishing for picks, and the team fights haven't come through either. Hettel's attempts at engage, well, you saw what happened. It was like chucking a rock at an egg there. Hettel just kind of splatted immediately when he went in. And for Burning Core, we're not seeing them aggressively engage either. It's kind of been them dancing around and then Flawless doing the bulk of the work right now, taking objectives, rotating around. We see split push from Dice as well, and that leaves Yuhi and Fujimoto kind of just sitting there, you know, wringing their hands because they've got nothing better to do. They want a team fight. Jinx wants a team fight. That's what she's best at. But nobody else in the team is ready to do that with her.
Yeah, and they're looking to make a small scale team fight this time around. Fujimoto taking a lot of damage, but it's not going to be enough. A nice moon crash coming down. Yuhi got to pick up 1, looking to get 2, but it's looking like he won't. And instead, they're going to get 3, actually. Going to get 4 with the counter strike. My God, very nicely done. 1 man left on the board from an ace. Flawless going to go gold. We finally see one of those trouble bubbles hit, but it's too little, too late. Yuji Theo goes down, and that's the ace for Burning Core. And they're looking to push it into the base. Things are looking bad. Death timers are pretty high, and it's looking to me like the Academy team of V3 is about to fail their final exam if they don't get up out of bed and wake up to stop this push. But I don't know if they will in time. First Nexus turret goes down, second one goes down, and that's an F on your report card, sir, because Burning Core takes this game.
Well, Echo, the good news is that this wasn't the final exam for V3.
That's